Paul Biya, the world's oldest president, wins Cameroon election at age 92. He has won the election again, the country's top court said Monday, after days of protesters' clashes with security forces left at least 4 people dead as opposition supporters demanded credible results. Biya has led the Central African nation since 1982, ruling longer than most citizens have been alive. Over 70% of the population of almost 30 million is below 35. The October 12 election has displayed growing tensions between Africa's youth and its many aging leaders. Doesn't that sound familiar? Like possibly what's going on in this country, right? It's all about the divide, okay? The Constitutional Council said Biya received 53.66% of votes, while former Ali Issa Tchiroma Bakary got 35.19%. The turnout was 57.7%. In a social media post after the announcement, Tchiroma asserted that security forces had shot at civilians, killing 2 in his hometown of Garora, shooting point blank at your own brothers. I can't help but wonder if you're mercenaries. He posted, "Kill me if you want, but I will liberate this country by any means necessary." What blatant impunity? Tchiroma had claimed victory days ago, citing results he said were collated by his party. Biya's party members dismissed the claim. Biya, in a statement on Monday, said his first thoughts are with all those who have unnecessarily lost their lives, as well with their families. And then something glitched and I can't see it there. But 4 protesters shot dead Sunday in the economic capital Douala as hundreds of people stormed streets in several cities. Okay, so who's this Tchiroma person? Tchiroma. Issa Tchiroma. So I'm guessing this might have been the opponent here. Let me make sure. Tchiroma Bakary. I've heard of the name before. Bakary. Is not a known bakery. Okay, I'm guessing it's this guy right here. Okay, so let's click on the Wikipedia. So I'm guessing this is the opponent here. September 10th birthday. That's interesting because that's the day that Charlie Kirk, his character, was eliminated. That's very interesting. So I'm guessing this is he previously served under President Paul Biya as the Minister of Communication. So it sounds like this guy is the opposition here from what I read in the article. Don't quote me on that. But let's go back over here. Let's play this.
Protesters face off with police after Cameroon's President Paul Biya won an 8th term on Monday. At 92, he is the world's oldest serving ruler. But the main opposition challenger has also claimed victory. On the streets of Douala, his supporters say the vote was rigged, which the government denies.
The Cameroonian people, the youth of Cameroon, are demanding their victory by majority vote. We all know that Cameroon, the people, voted overwhelmingly for Issa Chiroma Bakari.
Biya won 54% of the vote against 35% for Chiroma, his former ally, the Constitutional Council said. If he serves the full term, Biya could be in power until he's nearly 100. After the results were announced, Chiroma wrote on Facebook that 2 people were killed after shots were fired at civilians outside his home in the northern city of Gurua. He did not say who had fired the shots. Reuters could not confirm independently what happened. Biya has tightened control since transitioning from prime minister to president 43 years ago. Over the decades, he's survived political turmoil and gradually introduced economic reforms. Opposition protesters have clashed with security forces repeatedly over the past week after partial results suggested Biya was on course to win again. There was no immediate comment on the result of this election from the government.
Nice video right there. Here's Cameroon, country in Central Africa here as well. All right, so look at dude's birthday right here. Look, his birthday is the 13th day of the second month, and Cameroon equals 132. Perfect, huh? Check that out. 132 just hit in the last breakdown I dropped. New York Jets equals 132. This is the Nick Mangold kidney disease he announces. Then he dies, what was it, less than 2 weeks after the announcement. New York Jets, 132. Paul Biya, birthday the 13th day of the second month. Cameroon equals 132. Now they're both trending at the same time with the same numbers. Even Mangold has 123. And Cameroon syncs up with New York with the 39 right there in the reduction cipher. Even Paul Biya equates to 33. Look, oldest equals 33. He's the oldest president. New York Jets, Mangold, all equal 33. These stories are connected. President equals 133, election equals 133. Isn't that amazing how that syncs up? The world's oldest president, Cameroon's 92-year-old Paul Biya, has won election again. The country's top court said Monday after days of protesters. Clashes. Monday, 110-day span from Monday to his next birthday. President equals 110. Nick Mangold's full name equals 110. And that's the Jets center, again, that announced he had kidney disease, then died 2 weeks later. Roughly 2 weeks. Okay, so look how it says world's oldest president, Paul Biya. Look at the BI. Kind of like Biden, BI. Biden is the oldest of the 5 living U.S. presidents. See that? By the language. Biya, Biden, BI. And this reminds us of Trump as well, the Trump and Biden selection. After days of protesters' clashes with security forces left at least 4 people dead as opposition supporters demanded credible results. And remember this, recount every vote. Biden and Trump. Remember that? Joe Biden even equals 44. Paul Biya's next birthday, a 44 date numerology. Don't forget, Biden was vice president to the 44th U.S. President, Barack Obama. I was getting vibes of this story as well. Russell M. Nelson, oldest ever president of the Church of Latter-day the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints dies. Oldest ever president. That was trending, was it like a couple of months ago? A month ago, month and a half? All right. Simple. I didn't catch anything major with his age being 92. This was his opposition right here. So his opposition, he previously served under President Paul Biya as the Minister of Communication. Look at that, from 2009 to 2019. 2009 is like 29, which is the reverse of 92. Look, here's a 92 down here. Chicharoma in 1990 was released, and 2 years later in 1992 he participated in the first ever multi-party elections. So you get 92, you get that 92 right there, and the other dude is age 92. And again, this guy born September 10, that's the Charlie Kirk elimination date right there. See, look, they mentioned 92 a few times here. Make sure
Paul Biya.
Paul Biya. Here's Paul Biya right here. 213 with that birthday again. Cameroonian politician who has been serving as the second president of Cameroon since 1982. Previously the fifth prime minister under President Ahmadou Ahidjo. Right there. Let's look up that guy real quick. So is the prime minister like a vice president? I don't know. This guy's got the August 24th birthday, died November 30th. All right, cool. All right, so I hope you look at the thumbnail I put. Really hits heavy right there. I hope you enjoy that. And I highlighted world's oldest president because it has the 120, like the United States inauguration date, January 20 as well. You know, there's more in there, but you know, you when you get these stories, now this being of the world's oldest president, you know, obviously we hear stories about when Joe Biden was the president, how he was too old. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy to just go look at that, and what do you know? You get the same connections, and then trending with these other stories connected by the numbers at the same time. You see that? There was more connections there with Nick Mangold and Paul Biya. I just, I wasn't going to go down that rabbit hole. That 132 is solid right there. World's oldest president, Paul Biya, wins Cameroon election at age 92. People aren't happy about it. Why? I mean, why is it just a simple division thing over there? Do the people not like Paul Biya? I mean, you're going to have oppositions. They're going to draw a divide between everybody. There is a widespread dissatisfaction with President Paul Biya, who was recently reelected. The sentiment is especially strong among young people. Of course, it's just a divide, man, because he's old. It's just a divide. Can't we all just get along? All right. Until